Hey, 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 Hornets. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Maybe you are just waking up, had some breakfast, and are getting started right away. Maybe you spent your morning relaxing or getting some things done, and now it's time for school in the afternoon. But either way, I'm so glad you're on here. I miss you guys, and I'm excited for today because we actually have a lot of cool stuff coming up. First of all, a reminder that we do have our Zoom class meeting at 1 o'clock. So have your parents get you set up for that, and I'm excited to see you. Bring something to share or a story to tell. It doesn't have to be school related for this one. It can be anything you'd like. So for today we have reading, we have writing, we have math, and we have science. A friendly reminder that as I finish explaining whatever reading activity you would like to do, you can hit pause on the video and move away, do other things if you need to on your computer. Like if you need to open the poems, you can read that, get on RazKids, and then come back. So you can hit pause by just clicking in the middle of this video right about here. And then you can move away and do your own things, okay? So for reading today, you'll choose one of these activities. For reading, you can choose to read this nature poem in RazKids. You can get on ABC Mouse. You can get on RazKids itself and read other poems if you'd like, or just read a book of your choice. Or you could work on your high frequency word list. For your nature poems, whichever one you pick, think about which one you want to pick in your head, and you can go ahead and hit pause on this video because the video will be up here, and then you will have to come down and click on slide 4 here and open it up. So go ahead and do that. Pick which one you want to do and then open it up, but if you would like a little sneak peek. For nature poems, this is what it looks like. Talking about different animals, different locations, different, you might remember gravity from our force and motion writing unit. But, just a lot of different things in nature. And this can kind of actually help inspire you for your writing today. You're actually going to be doing poetry about nature. So if you want to read this to get a sneak peek and get inspired, that's a great idea. If you do read this and then you finish and you have some more time, you could pick a different poetry book. You can get on ABC Mouse, RazKids, High Frequency Word List. But go ahead and pick what you want to do. Hit pause and come down to slide 4 and open up what you need. And I'll meet you back here for writing. Welcome back for writing. Today we will be doing some more poetry, but today's poetry is specifically about nature. And I'm so excited about this because it is a beautiful day today. If you're doing this on Monday, well, at least it was supposed to be the last time I looked at the weather. But I don't know about you. I'm glad this is not happening on one of the cold days we were having last week. I'm glad it's happening on a beautiful, warm spring day. So the first thing you'll do before you go outside, and yes, hopefully you get to go outside or at least look outside, you can click on this poem video. And right now it's not working for me because they're working on some stuff over the weekend. I'm actually recording this on Saturday. Hopefully it works for you. If not, I will try to get something else set up. And if you need to log in for some reason, if this pops up, you can type in Park Hill 2020 if you want to write this down in a notebook. Before you forget, I'll leave it up for just a second. And the password's the same, so you only need to write it twice. Just remember that both are what you use, okay? And then you'll hit login whenever you do that. So hopefully this is working for you. But basically it's talking about different structures of poems. So you can see here, there's some kind of interesting looking poems on here that maybe you haven't seen before. Some of them might be structures we've talked about in class, and there's definitely going to be a few new ones that might inspire you that you might want to try. So what you are going to do is you're going to watch the video, choose a form of poetry that you would like to try. Whatever that poem structure is or form of poetry, write it in your notebook at the top so you don't forget what you want to do. And then you're going to sit outside or look outside if your parents don't want you to go outside and take a look around. What kind of nature is inspiring you right now? Sketch a picture and try out a poem. So I don't know about you, but the first thing that even popped into my mind is two things. The first is a lot of the trees are budding right now, so I bet if you go look at a tree and look at its buds, that might help inspire you. Or something even as simple as the grass has been inspiring me lately. When I look at it, it's so thick and green and bright, and it's really tall right now, and it's just growing like crazy. And it really makes me think of spring. I can't go on a walk anymore without noticing how amazing the grass looks. So If those things are not inspiring to you, please find something else. But if you were just looking for a little inspiration, maybe you want to write about those things also. So go ahead and you can click pause on my video, come down here and click on slide 4 and you can open up this video yourself. And if you want to go ahead and plan if you want to do print or cursive later, that's great too. But go watch the video, pick the poem you would like, and then do your print or cursive handwriting after you write your poem. And I'll meet you guys back here for math. Excited to see what poems you guys create today. And welcome back to Math, second graders. Today we're actually going to be reviewing a skill that we've done before. Think in your head if you remember working on arrays. Arrays is kind of a funny word. Arrays are like rectangles with squares, and we used it to create repeated addition sentences. So your goal is to cover a rectangle with equal-sized squares and count them using rows and columns. Now for rows and columns, rows go across like this. They go side to side, kind of like think of the rows in a movie theater. Columns go up and down. Think about a lot of the government buildings we saw in our social studies unit earlier this year. A lot of government buildings have columns in the front that go up and down. So rows go side to side, columns go up and down. Draw 3 different sized rectangles using a ruler in your notebook, and then find square objects such as Cheez-Its, mini Post-it notes, or square Lego pieces. And then you can also, if you have these, you'll want to cut them out so you can use them to lay across your objects or your rectangles. It says to draw 3 different sized rectangles, but I mean, if you want to use a book too, or just find some rectangle things, I wouldn't pick your table because that's probably way too big and you don't have enough squares for that. But if you find some small rectangle things you want to use the squares to cover, that's great too. But after you cover the rectangle, write a repeated addition sentence for the rows and the columns. Check that your sums are the same. So let's pretend this was a book that you were covering, and we're going to pretend these are squares and not rectangles, of course. But let's say we had 4 in a row and 3 in a column. The 2 addition sentences you would write are 4 plus 4 plus 4, and then you'll find that sum, which is 12. And then you'll write your column addition sentences here. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which also equals 12. So your goal is whenever you add your rows in your addition sentences and you add your columns in your addition sentences, you're getting the same answer for both because the same number of squares are here whether you're adding columns or rows. If you're doing your math page today, you will probably really want to have these because they fit nicely here. If you don't have these and your parents want you to do this, I would say maybe get out your ruler and maybe draw a straight line, right, across, kind of trace this and then use your ruler to keep the straight line going here and do that here. And then measure how far across the square is so you know how much to draw your lines, or you can just try to get them close. I would say if you're doing that, have mom and dad help you do that because that's kind of hard. But if you have these square tiles, you can just set them across and you'll notice how many squares go across and how many squares go down. So column 1 is already done for you. So here it says count and add how many squares cover the rectangle. So you'll add by rows. So the first thing you'll do is once you're finished, you'll know how many are in a row. So it'll be blank plus blank plus blank equals blank. And then you'll add by columns. You'll count down. Blank plus blank plus blank plus blank plus blank equals blank. And if you're finding yourself saying, wow, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, not 6, that probably means you made a little mistake in your drawing or in your covering. So double check that if that doesn't work for you. And then here you're just going to do the same thing, except it didn't start the row for you, it didn't start the column. So that one's all on your own. I'm very excited for you to get to do that. And you'll notice here, be careful, the equal sign ends here. The equal sign is down here for this one. It's blank plus blank plus blank plus blank plus blank equals blank is down here. And then here, I would say do at least, let's say at least do number 9, but if mom and dad want you to do all of it, then do all of it because we have extra time at home to get these things done. And I know you guys are up for that challenge. We don't have any recess to go to, so we don't have to rush it. And then once you're finished with that, once you've heard these directions, I want you to think of which activity you're doing today. I want you to click pause on this video, and I want you to go do it. So go down to slide 4 and open up what you need to, or get your pages out or get your notebook out and do your activity, and meet me back here for the fluency practice. All right, welcome back for fluency. For fluency today, you're just picking, would you like to play addition class with, or not class, addition clash with someone, or do you want to do math playground games on your own? So, or if you don't have anyone available to play addition clash, you could do that. So you'll click pause on this video, go down to slide 4 and click and open what you need, or get out the paper you need and the materials you need to play addition clash. So do that for about 10-ish minutes. You can do longer if you like. And meet me back here for social studies. All right, welcome back for social studies today. Today we are talking about properties of materials. So for properties of materials, a material is any substance that has a name. And a different way of saying that is it's anything that has matter. It's any object that you see around you. Look at the lamp in your room, look at your hand, your paper, even the computer is a material. And your computer or your laptop, your tablet is actually made up of lots of materials. There's the plastic that makes up the keyboard. There's, I don't know if it's glass, but your screen is made up of a different material than your keyboard is. And there's just all kinds of materials on objects. So the properties of the materials is something about the material that we can measure, see, or feel. So when I'm touching my laptop and I'm just touching my keys, I'm noticing a property of the keys is that they're really smooth. Another property is that they're black. And another property is that they're really solid. I cannot bend these. These are not flexible. And they're pretty hard. They're not soft. So those are all properties of my keyboard keys. Today you're going to watch this video for a quick introduction on properties and materials. And then after you watch that, you are going to go on a properties of materials hunt, where you will find materials or objects around your house. You can even go outside if that's okay with mom and dad, and describe their properties. Describe the color, texture, hardness, and flexibility of the object. And this is actually for school what I want you guys, on your Google Classroom, what I want you guys to take a picture of for sure today. Take other pictures of other work too, but this is the one I need, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to walk around your house and you're going to write down 3 other objects. So they gave you the shoe as the example, so pick 3 other objects. And what you're going to do when you look at the shoe, you're noticing they wrote down the properties of that shoe. The color, the texture, hardness, and flexibility. So we know how to describe the color. Texture is kind of what it feels like. Is it smooth? Is it rough? Is it bumpy? Is it really, I don't know. There's lots and lots of words you could use to describe, but probably smooth and bumpy or rough would be 3. That would be the ones that come to mind first. And then for hardness, you're thinking, is it hard? Is it soft? Or is it kind of in between? Is it kind of a medium? So you can write down soft, hard, or medium for each object. And then for flexibility, is it bendable? Or is it stiff? Is it rigid? For flexibility, it means can you bend it? If you can, it is bendable. If you cannot, it is stiff or rigid. Rigid is spelled R-I-G-I-D. It's probably a word you've heard but haven't thought to use. So if you were talking about a coffee table, if I'm looking at mine, my color is light brown. It is smooth. There's not anything like bumpy on it. It's hard, and it is stiff. I cannot bend it. So find 3 objects around your house other than your coffee table now and your shoe to go on a properties of materials hunt for. So you guys are doing great. Keep up the amazing work, and I can't wait to see what you do. I'll see you guys for our Zoom meeting today. Bye-bye, second graders.